I'm TerryDavidMulligan. This is the Mulligan Stew Podcast. Some friends have come by to spend the next hour with you and I. They are the Trans-Canada Highwaymen. They're a super group that most of the country doesn't know. They know them, but the name of the group is just now getting going. Chris Murphy from Sloan, who explains in the interview that they have to keep introducing every member of the band so that people understand who's on stage. For example, it's Stephen Page, ex of Bare Naked Ladies and the Stephen Page Trio. It's Craig Northey from Odds and Stephen Page Trio. It's Chris Murphy from Sloan. And it's Moe Berg from The Pursuit of Happiness on stage, all singing everybody else's songs. Highwaymen started as four guys wanted to get together and sing each other's songs, just to have fun singing each other's songs. And everybody would trade off. Everybody would drum. Everybody would take lead vocals. Then COVID came along. They decided to cover Canadian hits from the late 60s and early 70s. And as Stephen points out very smartly in this interview, that these hits were hits in Canada, but only in Canada. This was our own music. They didn't cross over into the States. If we had American friends come up, we had to explain who, April Wine was. And the fact remains that this was our music, and we were loving it. It was music made by Canadians, for Canadians in Canada. And so they're celebrating that fact. Now, of course, Canadian music is all over the world. But this was this little pocket, late 60s, early 70s. So this is Explosive Hits Volume 1. Stephen's going to sing the Guess Who's Undone. Craig Northey is going to sing Bim's Can't Catch Me. Bim, of course, is Roy Forbes, singer, songwriter, and host on CKUA. Chris Murphy from Sloan is going to sing the Poppy Family's Which Way You Goin' Billy. Moe Berg is going to sing Joni's Raised on Robbery. And Craig's going to finish this off with Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, April Wine. And in there also, Stephen is going to be singing the theme from the Trans-Canada Highwaymen, which he wrote. And he'll tell you why and what inspired him. There's one other name you should know about, and that is K-Tel. In the late 60s, early 70s, Canadians could get their music hits on 8-track, cassette, or album. K-Tel. It was always boom, bombastic. K-Tel sold like it was a truck and tractor pull, but they crammed as many Canadian hits as possible onto a cassette or an album or an 8-track, audio be damned, and they sold it at service stations and supermarkets, your corner store. K-Tel is a name that kids grew up with because that's how they got their music. And so that's why the album looks the way it does and the hits sound the way they do. This is how we made music in the late 60s, early 70s. So here you go. If everybody's ready, buckle in. We're going to spend some time at cruising speed with the Trans-Canada Highwaymen.
You guys talking about me?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was asking if people call you Murph, which they do.
Oh, people call me? Sure, yeah, sure.
What are you wearing? The chicken burger? Oh, yeah, okay.
Chicken burger, Bedford.
Okay, I'm recording video. I'm recording audio. This is for CKUA Mulligan Stew.
Nice.
On your best behavior, please. Thank you so well.
We're trying.
Maybe not. I have on the line and on Zoom, frankly, Stephen Page. He of the Stephen Page Trio. Chris Murphy from Sloan. Missing in action, Moe Berg from Pursuit of Happiness and Moe Berg. Craig Northey from Odds and anyone else who will have him. And we're talking about the Trans-Canada Highwaymen. So, gentlemen, an open question for both of you. Oh, I'm TerryDavidMulligan. I'm pleased to be here with you. The first question is, who do we blame for this?
Well, if you go, the thing is, our record is sorry. There's a song that Stephen wrote, and you can follow up on this, Stephen, but I'll just say, and it's a great song, and it's one of those kind of like explanation songs of how we came together. And I could recite it like a poem and basically answer every question you can come up with. Well, Stephen and I were on the road hoping that his album would explode, but it didn't yet again. But then he got a call from a guy, Jim Milan, for this idea for a band like some Can Rock Highwaymen. And he wanted to book a show for Stephen and me and Craig and Moe and see what happens then. etc. It runs on for I think it's about 10 minutes long.
It feels like
Hurricane
it.
by Bob Dylan.
You had to rhyme. You had to rhyme Jim Milan, so you came up with the line again.
With this
Yeah.
idea for a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we figured it out. We decided, well, what rhymes with Milan? It's got to be a band. So then we became a band. Our friend Jim, who's a director, like a theater director, does lots of work with like when Kids in the Hall do their live tours and stuff. And we've known him forever. And he had this idea to do a show that I think was kind of like, songs and stories from the road kind of idea, and had put together the four of us who are all friends and fans of each other. And we decided, why don't we actually be a real band where we back each other up and we all trade instruments. And so that's what we've done over the past bunch of years is we play the hits. I play Jane and Brian Wilson in Old Apartment, and, Chris plays Underwhelmed, and Moe plays I'm an Adult Now, and Craig plays Someone Who's Cool, and so on. And, I get Chris's fantastic drumming on my songs, and he gets my horrific drumming on his.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fair trade.
People get a kick out of it. Yeah, it's fun. It's like Ringo comes out and Paul goes and plays drums. And no, I don't know.
No, this is no, except for when you sing, it's like George is playing drums.
That's right. It's a super fun show that has been maybe it's been sort of hard to explain, and I don't know if we've helped ourselves by putting out this record. So the act is, it's a group that plays all of our songs for our contributions to the Canadian songbook, as it were, and we got a 16 to 18 song set of bangers. And now part of what I wanted to do, or I guess we all wanted to do, was we wanted to exist on streaming. It's hard to find out about us, so we wanted to make a record, but we just thought in the name of just sticking to the hits, that we would record a bunch of our favorite hits, Canadiana hits. And then I take credit or blame for insisting that it had to stop at 1975 so that we could get subsequent volumes in here. So this is called Volume 1, Explosive Hits Volume 1. I think I have a copy of it here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's available on record. But I actually wanted to contextualize it by doing this, by just sort of going through a few, K-Tel records and just, contextualizing it this way.
Nice.
Some of these old
Excellent.
favorites. You might find this in an old bin,
Excellent.
hit machine,
Music Power. Wonderful.
What's this? Oh, Trans-Canada Highwaymen, Explosive Hits.
It fits right in. It's seamless.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. And I actually, just as a detail, it does come in a sleeve, but I actually thought, in the spirit of K-Tel, it should just come no sleeve, just like you find it.
So when you opened it, it fell out.
The thinnest piece of vinyl available with 1,000 songs per side.
Oh man, the memories are coming back. And those K-Tel ads that went by, they went by endlessly.
Yeah.
They just went on forever.
Well, I don't know if you saw, Terry, that we have been throwing some of our kind of version of that on our social media, but we also have an outrageously long 17-minute infomercial, which is best watched at 2 a.m. When you're drunk and depressed and just like, I'm going to order this thing. I'm going to order that, Boxcar Willie and Slim Whitman.
Come undone. She didn't know what she was headed for, and when I found what she was headed for, it was too late. She's come undone. She found a mountain that was far too high, and when she found out she couldn't fly, it was too late. It's too late. Gone too
I would have killed to have been in the room. You must have done this via internet and Zoom and things. Just going over the list of who, what, where, and how. The democracy of the list.
Yeah.
Was it easily done, or did you fight for your songs, or what? Did you have to?
I think the only fight we had was that, you know, people were saying, I want to do this, I want to do whatever, Roxy Roller or something that just doesn't fit the time frame. And I was just like, it has to be to 75. And, you know, I don't think we had that much trouble figuring it out. I mean, Stephen did these like great belters. You know, he did the Burton Cummings, he did Paul Anka, he did Andy Kim, you know, because he's got the voice for it. And then I stick to the mousier, you know. Well, Pagliaro was a great singer.
And you know, I think we got to shout out your singing on "Which Way You Going, Billy." I think that you killed that. People and others have said to me, like, that's like, people are like, I didn't know Chris could sing like that. So
well, I can.
Of course you can.
It's nice for people to prove it to people.
Terry, you would know the songs from that era. What are we missing up till 75? What are you mad that we didn't put on there? Here's the list.
I was going to say,
Loving You Ain't Easy, Undone, Tonight Is a Wonderful Time.
Well, first of all, the Undone, the Guess Who?
Yeah, did you hear some of that? It's amazing.
Yeah, it is, but I wouldn't have chose that song. That was Randy's jazz period. His cool. Hey, cool.
And you would have.
Would you have liked it better if we did Looking Out for Number One? Also too jazzy for you, TDM.
Well, the same. It was going through that period. Yes. I would have done the 17-minute banger or 12-minute banger. I think it was called Wheatfield Soul or something, where I get mentioned.
Oh, do you? Come on.
The line is, TDM, don't dig him no more.
That's not true. Is that in there?
I believe I stole someone's girlfriend. Or
Wait a
was
minute.
accused of.
You mean on that Guess Who thing that goes on, that Doors thing that goes on for 17 minutes?
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe we'll need to do that live. When you're in the audience, we're doing that song live.
Or maybe in the spirit of Pink Floyd, the Dark Side of the Moon working over the Wizard of Oz, maybe our infomercial would work over top of that song if you sync them up and watch them at the same time. They're both about 17 minutes.
You know what?
Too complicated.
I just, first of all, I want to tell you straight off the top. I may take shots at you guys, but this is fantastic. I cannot believe that you have stumbled into this space and everybody, we understand. There's no pushback. This is fantastic. It all depends now how long you want to take it down the road and your other careers that you're working on.
Yeah.
I mean, I liken it to having a mistress, Terry. You know, it's all fun and, you know, my wife is, you know, I'm still dedicated to my wife, but it's really fun to have a mistress. And, you know, we'll tire of this, same as a mistress.
See, I get to play with Craig Northey in both my day job. So he's my wife and my mistress. So it's very, either we're going to kill each other by the end of this thing, or it's just going to spice up the whole
your
day
relationship.
Job.
Yeah.
Damn. And I never did answer your question because right at this moment at 8 o'clock in the morning, I can't think of those 60s bands yet. It'll come to me after I hang up, I'm sure. If you throw some names my way, I'd be thrilled.
I pushed a little for Mash McCann, but nobody wanted that except for me.
Yeah, we talked about, I wanted to do maybe one of those Anne Murray songs, but I have a recording of myself playing it, but I didn't do it in the end. But I only get 3 songs on here. I wanted to do Pagliaro. I get to do that. I wanted to do a Stampeders song because the Stampeders is another band that had the sort of ads that I saw all the time. So a song like I sang Sweet City Woman a lot as a baby.
Sure.
But that recording is so good and iconic. You can't, not that, anyway, you can't improve on that. But Carry Me, not everybody knows, and I know it as Carry Me Home to Birmingham, oh my lady. I just know it as a snippet from an ad I saw in like 1982.
All right. So listen, by the way, this is a sidebar story to this. Jeannie Becker and I were co-hosting the Rock Walk of Fame at Massey Hall just about the time when you guys were about to release this album. And Steve and I were just talking about you should have been on that stage that night because it was April Wine, Carol Pope and Rough Trade, was Chilliwack, Glass Tiger, Kim Mitchell, Lee Aaron, Lighthouse, Loverboy, Michelle Pagliaro, the Parachute Club, Trooper, Platinum Blonde, and Prism.
So there's 3 acts there that we cover, and there's probably about 4 acts there that we're going to get onto the next album. But I think we were actually in Toronto rehearsing the night that happened.
What a drag that would have been.
Nobody knew our record was coming yet.
Yeah, they played a lot of Money City Maniacs at the game that the Raptors won, and I was sitting at my house. We should have been down there playing it. That would have been good. I would have loved to have been there. Quick sidebar. I knew my friend's older sisters knew the Platinum Blonde guys, and when they opened for Billy Idol on the Rebel Yell tour, I got to hang out with Chris Steffler. Here's a little here's our thing on 8-track. Although it's not real, Terry. It's just if you play it, it'd be Jesus Christ Superstar. But it just looks so good. I just wanted to manufacture. We talked about manufacturing these kind of as a gag item and putting like a QR code on the back, but I don't think that happened.
I also like the reference to the fact that the artwork from the album was forced onto a cassette.
I also like that too, the fact that the cassette consumer is punished with no consideration for the aspect ratio of the cassette.
None.
Just like barfed on song titles.
Well, it was all the cassette was going to go on the floor of the truck anyway.
That's right. It like that just goes right next to Bob Seger 9 Tonight. Is sitting right next to it on the floor of the truck.
I love the fact that you covered Roy Forbes, Can't Catch Me, Bim. Love that.
That's one. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that song because it's like that from the golden age when we still had regional hits in Canada. So Craig, of course, grew up loving that, and the fun thing for me playing that was like as if my friend Craig had brought in a brand new song, and we were, performing, doing our tracks for that song without having all the baggage of nostalgia.
Of course.
Well, and it was lovely that it's Roy Forbes, right? Is the guy's name? He wrote a little thing on Facebook or something thanking us for doing it. I think Craig is buddies with him. They're in cahoots. Do you know that guy, Terry?
Roy?
Yeah.
Roy Forbes was my next door neighbor in North Vancouver and is my next door neighbor on CKUA. He does a Sunday show and I do a Saturday show. The theme song, the theme of Highwaymen is very Monkees-like because, of course, you have to say your name in there 15, 20 times. It's fantastic. It's an entire song of promo, and it turns out to be a hit.
It feels good. I had this, before we even made this record, and it was during pandemic time, and I was thinking about, I don't know, we had just done some videos like for YouTube, as everybody was doing during pandemic, playing some of our songs and, doing like a Zoom type video of that thing. And I was feeling nostalgic for it and feeling proud of what we were doing. So I wrote this song, and I think I was thinking of Creek Alley, by Mamas and the Papas.
Sure.
And I was thinking of like that, but it kind of, in my mind, it was like a glam rock version of Creek Alley.
Okay.
And, then everybody played their parts on top, and it's just, I'm very proud of it because it just kind of spilled out, and it feels great.
Chris, it's a hit. It's a hit.
I love it. And I was when he first was doing it, when he first brought it in, I kind of thought it was kind of like muddying so it's an album of old covers, but it's by people from the 80s and 90s doing the 60s and 70s, but one original. And I just thought it was like one thing too complicated to explain. So at first I wanted to do a record of 12 songs and then a single of Steven's song and put them all together on a compact disc. But we just put them all on the record, and I'm glad we did. It's great. It's a great opener.
Try to book a show for me and Chris and Craig and Moe. We can see what happens then. Just when things were looking bleak, look out, flavor of the week. I'm out playing with my friends on the Trans-Canada Highway, baby. I'm a Trans-Canada Highwayman. Moe is back from the pursuit. Murphy brought a bag of fruit. Northey's trying out the drums. Singing songs from back when Page wore shiny shirts and shorts on stage. Moe is shredding Steven strums. In the Sloan rehearsal space, tears were running down my face, swapping dad jokes with my chums. Though we're longer in the tooth, we'll be blowing off the roof. Hey, New Brunswick, here we come. Stopped and got a snack. And though the girl and she's so young must be pushing 51, we can't wait to play that track. And one by one our peers are gone. We miss you, Gordon, we miss you, John. We wish you'd help us with the pack. And if Gord was still alive, he'd say, guys, just let me drive. You get some rest there in the back. On the Trans-Canada Highway, baby. I'm a Trans-Canada Highwayman. I'm a Trans-Canada Highway, baby. I'm a Trans-Canada Highwayman. I'm a Trans-Canada Highway, baby. I'm a Trans-Canada Highwayman.
If you're just joining us, where have you been? I'm TerryDavidMulligan. This is Mulligan Stew, the podcast and the show. Stephen Page from Stephen Page Trio is with us. Chris Murphy from Sloan is with me. Moe Berg, send his regards from Pursuit of Happiness. And Craig Northey, we talked to a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about his album. He never mentioned this release.
That's great, Craig.
In a 40-minute interview.
He's trying to keep it secret.
Yeah.
By the way,
he's worried that the odds guys are going to find out.
Of course. Yeah. There are no secrets in this business. You know that.
I'm getting a text from Craig right now. It's saying, I bet Terry mentioned that he's mentioned in that Guess Who song.
He's texting you on your cassette.
Texting me on the cassette.
Once upon a time, and I remember it well, the CRTC conceived CanCon. This is not what they had in mind, gentlemen, for Canadian content.
Well, we had a lovely piece in the Edmonton Journal the other day, and it referred to us as a CanCon Voltron. I thought that was a pretty fun way of describing who we are. My other joke is that I wanted to do this record in the hopes that eventually some younger cool people will cover our music and put it on their next version of this.
Okay. You've earned that right. That's all right. Now, by the way, you had the opportunity to release one of the great money-making schemes in all of music. That's the Christmas single. I saw the Christmas tree and the Instagram and stuff, and I thought, oh, there's a Christmas single somewhere. Did you knock it off and not put it on? Is there something around? Could you make one up?
We still have our respective plans A. I know Sloan has a couple of Christmas songs. I know Stephen has at least. There was the Bare Naked Holiday stuff, and you've done some. You've got.
Yeah, I'm working on a holiday record for hopefully next year or something as well. But a Trans Canada Highwaymen holiday single would be a pretty nice idea too.
Pretty nice idea. Of course, you could take that theme that you've already written and include the words Christmas somewhere in it. And
add some jingle bells. Yeah. It's just like when Huey Lewis and the News did a Heart of Rock and Roll, and then they had to add Toronto, Montreal at the end for the Canadian version. Yes. We would just do the same thing with Trans Canada Highwaymen. It just says Christmas and has jingle bells on it.
Here's the thing about there was a press conference with Anne Murray and Lightfoot and the Guess Who, a couple of others, Neil and Joni, and they were saying when CanCon started, you're killing our careers. We're the only ones being played on Canadian radio, and it's just people are turning radio off because all they're hearing is the Guess Who and Anne Murray and Gordon Lightfoot. And the CRTC said we need bands and structure and artists and stuff. So in its own way, this kind of shows that we have developed a structure. We might not agree with all of it, but there is a Canadian music system now, and you can do this.
Well, and those songs from the 70s, especially the ones like there was Neil and Joni and
sure.
BTO and those people in the 70s who had international hits, and most of those people were living in the United States making those records. But then there were all these hits that were hits only in Canada. Like we were kind of like our own little, I don't know, Soviet republic in a way in the 70s, where you play these songs for people who grew up anywhere else and they have no idea what these songs are. Which kind of makes the record even more great because they feel like brand new songs for a whole bunch of the audience. But for us, growing up with CanCon stuff, and once we get to the mid to late 70s and into the 80s, it really kind of it really takes off. We found with Bare Naked Ladies, by the end of the 90s, early 2000s, it was almost like the beginning again, where radio was playing us and Alanis and Nelly Furtado and Shania Twain and Nickelback, the same things that the American radio stations were playing. So people could kind of get away with filling their playlists with the same Canadian hits that were on American radio. But in those kind of fallow times, I think it's what brings up the young artists now and allows them to start a career.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to comment. I've definitely benefited from the Canadian content rules. I've had, I often find people, a lot of, people that I meet are through Sloan. They're like, I can't believe that you guys weren't bigger in the States. And then to which I say, ask yourself why you know who we are at all in Canada. It's because they were rules to keep us on the radio so that we didn't have to, compete with Madonna or whatever it is. Like that's my most recent example. Yeah, so if we, in the States, we have Sloan gets to be cool, cachet, you know, like, oh, it's an underground band, and we get mentioned in the same breath as Guided by Voices or Pavement. But up here, it's like, oh yeah, they're one of those '90s bunch of music bands, you know, just kind of like whatever. But anyway, yeah, we benefited from all that stuff. The other thing I often say, like about bands like Sloan, I wouldn't include like Bare Naked Ladies. Like Bare Naked Ladies had hits in the States, like they legitimately were big worldwide, and Sloan never was. And I think that's partly how, you know, Sloan gets to be beloved in Canada. Like there are lots of, I don't want to name anybody by name, but lots of people who are really beloved in Canada. It's code for they never made it anywhere else.
It kills me, that word. I see that in press releases all the time, beloved. You have to earn beloved. You can't just hand it to somebody and say, here's a beloved card.
Right. Well, I like to think that there's this sort of like we're still standing card. Like maybe even if you hated Sloan the whole time, it's like, well, you better like us now because we're still here. Like so.
You couldn't.
You know, everybody else is gone.
Hate Sloan. How could you hate Sloan?
I don't know if you're a moron. Moving on.
Which way you going, Billy? Can I go too? Which way you going, Billy? Can I go with you? I really love you, Billy, and all this time I thought you loved me, Billy, and you were mine. I'm gonna miss you, Billy, and though I'm trying, I'm hurting so bad, Billy, I can't help crying. You are my old babe, my heart and my soul, babe. I'd have nothing to show, babe, if you should go away. You are my old babe, my heart and my soul, babe. I'd have nothing to show, babe, if you should go. Which way you going, Billy? Or need I ask? 'Cause you don't want me, Billy. You're free at last. I won't forget you, Billy, for all my life. I'll always love you, Billy. I'll stay your wife. You are my old babe, my heart and my soul, babe. I'd have nothing to show, babe, if you should go away. You are my old babe, my heart and my soul, babe. I'd have nothing to show, babe, if you should go. You are my old babe, my heart and my soul, babe. I'd have nothing to show, babe.
We have to talk about Moe Berg and we have to talk about Craig Northey. Favorite Moe Berg cover, Steve?
Favorite song of his that we cover, or favorite song that he covers on this
That he
album?
covers on the album.
Raised on Robbery. His version of Joni's Raised on Robbery is so rocking and so much fun. And I knew like he is such a great vocal arranger. Like that
Yes.
that like when you're singing Moe's vocal arrangements, it feels like you get to be in Pursuit of Happiness for 5 minutes, which is kind of a dream come true.
I recorded all my vocals at Moe's place, and so if we're doing the harmonies on Race on Robbery, he can hear it all in his head. I'm like, I think it's this. Then there's semitone down. He's like, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, just sing that. And I was like, are you sure? And then he's way ahead of me musically, in like he's got all those vocal arrangement chops. And just a sidebar, we get to play. We'll play a bunch of these songs at live shows, but we also will continue to play. We end the set with "I'm an Adult Now," and people go bananas. Like I get to play "I'm an Adult Now" every night with these guys, and it's pretty fun.
Serious question: does Moe Berg still want to be in the music business? I get a vibe that he'll take it or leave it now.
I think he's just not a pushy guy. I think he'll go if someone offers him, but I don't think he's on the phone like yelling at people to get him opportunities.
Okay,
he's just kind of a demure guy.
I think honestly, us doing this, my sense is us doing this Highwaymen thing when we started that in 2016 or 17. He had taken a real break from it, and he teaches at Fanshawe College, music production. And but I think at that point that was kind of exciting for him. It made music exciting again. So he's been doing Pursuit of Happiness gigs here and there, but I don't know if he would. I think he would probably say yes to more if he could. Yeah, we've been especially the last couple of years, playing pretty well nonstop. And I at one point had two kind of configurations. Like I had the Stephen Page Trio, which is me and Craig Northey and Kevin Fox on cello, and then I had like the Stephen Page Band, which was me with the Odds as my backing band, which was always that was my scheme from the earliest days. I always just wanted to be in the Odds, so hire those guys to be my band, or we would do like double bills, like they would play a set, I'd play in the band with them, and then we'd do a Stephen Page set. Now that Pat from the Odds is off playing with Bryan Adams, playing the big arenas, it's harder to get those guys to do that, which I'm so excited for Pat, which is awesome, but we miss him. Exactly.
I suspected that Stephen wanted to do a thing where Stephen Page Trio would play, and then Highwaymen would play the next day, and we would have to drive, and he would fly. So he would flip-flop so that he could fly, and we would have to drive.
That sounds like a great idea.
Then Craig has to be there twice. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Even though Craig is on both shows, he still has to drive.
He still has to drive.
I'm flying ahead, and Craig,
highly motivated.
Hey, how are your travels, Craig? Where'd you guys stop to eat?
He gets double the PDs.
When do we get the follow-up album? He said pushingly.
Stephen told me that he was making a list last night.
I have it written out right here.
Oh,
is Brainwashed on it?
I won't tell you.
Why not Brainwashed? David Clayton.
Well, we also joked about having the next one be 75 to 76, so we could really taffy pull this thing.
There's lots that can fit in there.
Man. By the way,
we're just going to do All Trooper next time.
Chris, the last time you and I talked, it was about what was the greatest year in rock and why.
Oh, you said 65.
Yeah, and you said 71 or 70.
I said 68, maybe. I don't know. Okay. It's just I forget what I said. Steven, I think about it. I do think about it when you when something from 65 comes up. And I was like, oh, that's another one. Yeah, Mulligan was right.
Steven? Best year.
Well,
it's hard to lay that on.
The way I like to look at it is it was all. It was pretty good, although there were definitely years in CanCon. I was doing my CanCon research, and I saw that in 1984 there was the Juno Awards were postponed, and there were no Canadian top 10 hits. Wow. No CanCon top 10 hits in the entire of 1984. That's how bad things were then. And then things changed in 85. And in 85. This is the moment in popular music when everything changed for the worse. I think it happened on stage at Live Aid. That's the moment that the mullets got longer, the guitar solos got more chorused, the shoulder pads got bigger. It was just everything got pompous and less interesting. So I'm just saying anything from 1955 to 85 is great, and then 85 to now we're just scrambling to try and find our way back.
But if I had to pin you down with one great year.
Okay, 1965. Six.
By the way, Pat Stewart he played at Live Aid, did a drum solo.
He did. He did play at Live Aid.
And we know that guy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually I was in England on a choir trip, and I tried to watch Live Aid, but they wouldn't let us because the grandpa in the house we were staying at was watching cricket. And finally we snuck into the daughter's bedroom, which we were not allowed to do, and turned on Live Aid, and it was I got to see Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, who at the time when I was 15, I was like, wow, bunch of hippies. I wanted to see the Style Council, and I missed all that, and I got to see Bryan Adams. So I saw Pat. I didn't know him yet. I was just like, I already know these guys from Canada.
So you're minus one drummer. Would Pat sit in? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Would he walk away from?
You get him in there. That's what I do. I mostly play drums at the Highwaymen show. Okay. That's mostly what I do.
So we
it
should
keeps
talk
me
about
from having to learn the chords.
We should talk about dates. Dates. I swear I put down some dates here. Where are you going?
We have a horseshoe show just to sort of like correspond with that's on December, is it 13 or 14?
Yeah, December 13th.
Yeah, December 13th.
But that's long sold out in half an hour. And then we do have some more shows, but like in May that are worked out, but we're just like, that's just coming together, and we should have that together now, but that's how disorganized we are. So I think
the ones that are announced are St. Catharines, Ontario, May 7th, and Burlington, Ontario, May 9th. I'm looking at a calendar right now. There are more that week that are going to be announced shortly, and some other ones across Canada. I just saw some potential East Coast dates coming up. So
really,
yeah. I have a mole on the inside who tells me some things. So it looks like stuff is coming together for 2024.
You can get those
I
removed,
get top billing out east. Do I get top billing out east?
Yes, it's Chris Murphy's Trans-Canada Highway.
Well, we all have our own turf across the Trans-Canada Highway, as it were.
Yep.
He was sitting in the lounge of the Empire Hotel. He was drinking for diversion. He was thinking for himself. A little money riding on the Maple Leafs. Along comes a lady in lacy sleeves. She said, let me sit down, drinking alone's a shame. It's a shame, it's a crying shame. Look at those jokers glued to that damn hockey game. Hey honey, you got lots of cash. Bring us round a bottle, we'll have some laughs.
have
So
the
we
title
could do
for
it.
your Christmas single.
Yeah,
What is it?
It's a Trans-Canada Christmas.
I like it.
Okay.
that's pretty good.
And
I mean,
and this is the
you didn't have
cover.
to dig too deep.
Oh yeah, there's the cover right
you go,
there.
right?
Whoa!
Come on, look at that.
That
Yeah,
That
that's
With
totally
an AM
right.
radio.
that's pretty great.
Just helping, just trying to help. This is fantastic. I am happy that you're having fun turned out to be a gig.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
always-
best.
And who was the most surprised when it took off?
Well, I'll put my hat in the ring. I don't know, like, I mean, part of me thinks that we should be the biggest band that ever existed. You know, it's like, why can't these things? But it has been sort of hard to explain what it is. Like, you have to say everybody's name who's in it. Like, the name doesn't conjure anything necessarily at this point. It's like you have to say everybody's name, and then, we're just playing the hits. Anyway, every time we've played a show, whether people knew we were going to be there or not, we've played a bunch of times. People freaked out and loved it. But so I'm surprised that we're not bigger than we are. If there's that's the surprise that I'm experiencing.
Steve, how about you?
I think I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I feel like we should be playing all the big venues across Canada. People be lining up. Yes, the Enormo Domes with imagine the production. We would just pull up in a van and just set up in the middle of the dome with our rented drum kit. I think probably the most surprised might be our managers. I thought, maybe this is a real thing. Okay, let's start taking this seriously.
I want to thank you for this. So we don't know when that next one is coming, and we can't make any suggestions for what the titles might be. Are they already recorded, or are you going to have to record that second album?
Oh, we have to record that.
We have to record it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we just have to. I've gone through the list. I did some research because we have to decide whether like the part of the rules for this was every one of these songs had to be a top 40 hit in Canada. They couldn't be like obscure album tracks. They all had to be hit singles. So I kind of went through the next chunk of years and made up a list of all the ones that are eligible songs.
Demographically correct. Is the whole country covered?
That I think we need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
All right. I can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Terry.
And
Thank you,
there's
Terry.
nobody,
Always
there's
fun to
nobody
see you.
happier to me to see this fall into my lap and go, oh my God, they're going to run with this.
Send me a picture of that Mountie picture, and then I'm going to say that we were talking to you, and I'll have that as one of the pictures in there. So send me a
Thank
picture
you
somehow.
Thank you. I will. So just for the information of those of you just joining us, we are talking to the Trans-Canada Highwaymen. No, the Chris Murphy and the Trans-Canada Highwaymen.
Depending on where you are.
With Moe Berg and Craig Northey and Stephen Page and Chris Murphy himself, who's kindly, his people allowed him on camera here with us. And we're going to play you some tunes. And if you have suggestions, where do they send their suggestions for the next album titles and songs? Is there
Probably our Instagram or our Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep. Trans-Canada Highwaymen Instagram. Like, we'll see those, and I'll heart your suggestions. But this has just come out, Terry. So give us some room to breathe.
What do you mean, like that new car smell?
Yes.
Yes, give this a chance to go to number one or whatever has to happen.
This is silly.
Yeah.
Going to number, come on, you're gonna
Well,
have
you know
your
what I
heart
mean,
broken. Oh,
We're looking out for number
It's
one.
a 2-album set. See?
Yeah. Well, these are other artwork I'm going to pilfer for number two. Maybe it'd be called Hit Machine.
I think Hit Machine.
22 explosive hits.
But see, explosive hits is like I don't know how you mess with that. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And not
Well,
one
Explosive
band,
Hits Volume 2.
not one band on the back of 22 Explosive Hits is called Beloved.
That's true.
Beloved? You hate
Yeah, is
that
there a
word,
beloved band on there?
There can't be. There's no liner notes.
No, there's just some information.
Are there liner notes?
But it's, I believe, yeah, it's a straight out no sleeve.
Okay.
I don't know any of these songs.
By the way, two last things, I'll let you go. The first one is, did you cover any Buffy songs?
No, I wasn't sure whether that was with what's happened in the last last week or so, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. But no, we didn't. I grew up with Buffy records, though. My mom played them all the time when I was a kid.
No kidding. No
Did
kidding.
she write "Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong"? She in on that
She did.
song?
She did.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Won an Oscar for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully she made lots of money on that.
she did that one. Thank you, boys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, Terry.
Merry Christmas.
Great to
Happy
see
New
you.
Year. Thank you, thank you.
Red and yellow seasons changing gear. Oh yeah, giving her all I am, reaching out with nothing care. And you know she can feel it. Oh yeah, she doesn't even have to try. Going on forever. Oh yeah, knowing that's the reason why. She said tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Oh yeah, tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Let's fall in love. The two of us together, oh yeah, doing things the way we do, and nothing seems to matter, oh no, as long as I can be with you. And you know she can feel it, 'cause that's the way she likes to fly. Going on forever, oh yeah, knowing that's the reason why. And she said tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Oh yeah, tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Yeah, she said tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Oh yeah, tonight is a wonderful time to fall in love. Let's fall in love. Love is such a sweet thing. Oh yeah, it's easy when you realize these moments are forever. Oh yeah, it's magic